Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are continuing our budget Kindred looking at the dragons, this time top 5 damage dealer dragons. So we had dragons for every deck in the last one, and this is about ones that do damage, which kind of fit into any deck as well, but this is a little more niche. Anyway. Again, dragons are considered one of the top 5 Kindred, and rightfully so. Their flexibility and power are kind of hard to match. If you've ever gone up against a Dragon Kindred deck, you probably lost to one. But anyway, these are ones that are all about, again, dealing a bunch of damage on the battlefield will get you, it'll get you to the win con a lot of times, right? Dealing damage is good. What is budget at $2 or less according to the TCG market player value? Not a sponsor, not one bit. Oh, we're also now on Facebook, so if anyone wants to go check out MTG Nerd in Korea on Facebook, you can contact me, give me any kind of feedback you want or anything like that. Also, please hit like and subscribe on these videos, because that helps out a lot too. Number 5. Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. Okay, 4 red. For a flying 7/7 CMC for a flying 7/7. Pricey, but let's take a look. Whenever he attacks, I'm just going to say he. It deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage up to 2 other targets. What's really important about that is that it doesn't care who the targets are, right? Or it just says target. It doesn't say creature, it doesn't say player. Could be anything. And yeah, you can basically like attack one player and use it as removal for like 3 other problems, which is getting into that politicky thing I always like to have. I'm gonna hit you for 7, but I can get these 3 problems off the board. A lot of times people are going to do the math and be like, yeah, that's worth the 7. Actually, that is going to be worth 7 life to get rid of those. So I think this is something where people might not even mind if you're attacking them. Even they can block with like, yeah, it is just when it attacks. So even if they block with a 1/1 flyer, hey, they don't take damage and you get to like remove all these threats. Really, really nice. The casting cost is the only bad thing there. Anyway, 33 cents. Number 4. Flame Blast Dragon. I actually need to get this into a deck. Into my Sakili deck. 4 red is a flyer. Whenever it attacks, you may pay X and a red. If you do, Flame Blast Dragon deals X damage to any target. So decks where you either can just like make tons of mana or go infinite on mana, this is a way to convert that into damage to win the game, right? Or at very least, you can just keep wearing down. It is to any target again, right? So yeah, pretty much you decide between, is it player removal, is it going to be your win con, is it just going to wear them down, or is it going to be your removal to get rid of a whole bunch of threats? Either way, very, very useful, right? Anywho, 22 cents. Number 3. Incinerator of the Guilty, 4 red. Red is pretty big with them, obviously, but I think the main red dragons, but anyway. 6 flying trample. I'm trying to say 3 words at once. You can't do that, actually. Anyway, 6 flying trample, not flample. But anyway. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, there's a bit of a downside right there, right? You do have to get the combat damage through. You may collect evidence X. So again, collect evidence X means you exile cards from your graveyard, and yeah, it's the mana value of the cards you exile is X, which is very, very easy. We talked about like having mana or having a static amount of damage. Here it's however much damage you want, as long as you've got stuff in your graveyard to exile. This is very, very powerful with like a mill or any kind of strategy where you're going to end up with a decent sized graveyard. You're going to like, I guess, a sack or a mill or anything like that. You can really take advantage of this. Anyway, yeah. When you do, Incinerator the Guilty deals extra damage to each creature and each planeswalker that player controls. So, oh, can you imagine? So yeah, you attack, you do, let's say, yeah, you attack, you get your 6 damage through, great. He also has Trample, so even if they block with like 1/1 flyers or something, you don't care. You just have to get like 1 damage through, and then you can go through your graveyard and be like, okay, I exile these 3 or 4 cards that are worth total mana value 6. Everything to all their creatures, all their planeswalkers, 6 damage each. The whole board gone. It's like a player board wipe. That's amazing, especially in multiplayer, because then everyone else is like, do I want to attack the player who did this, or do I want to attack the person who has no defense? Probably no defense, right? I think so. Anyway, 55 cents. Number 2. Scourge of Kindred. 6 red for the 6/6 flyer. Okay, 8 CMC is up there, right? That's not cheap. I'm not going to pretend it's not, but let's take a look. It is a 6/6 flyer. And for 1 red, it deals 2 damage to each creature without flying. 1 red, main thing to point out about both of these abilities, they do not require tapping, just mana. Meaning you can do it over and over and over and over and over. So yeah, ideally you have, this is your only flyer, or you have only flyers. All of your creatures are flyers, or this is your only one. So that'll make sense when I read the next one. For 5 in a red, it deals 6 damage to each other creature with flying. Again, each other creature with flying, not to itself. But yeah, it'll just demolish all the other flyers in the game. So yeah. Either way, you're set, right? If you have an all-flyer deck, this is incredible, because you're just going to like destroy everything. Probably even if they have a bunch of reach creatures, sucks to be them, because you know what? You're going to just melt them. You can basically 1 mana, you can deal 1 damage to their entire board, just over and over and over. For 4 mana, 4 damage to all of their creatures that don't have flying. All of them on the board. Not just the 1 players, not just 1 creature. The whole board you can destroy for 4 mana. What? Anyway, 118. Number 1. I feel like that last one is hard to beat, but this one barely does. I think it does, though. Okay, Ziatora the Incinerator. 3 and Jund, so black, red, green for the 6/6 flyer. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature. Jund loves to sacrifice, okay? Again, it has Rakdos in there and Gruul, both of which can do a lot with sacrificing, so yeah, you'll be able to make use of that. When you do, Ziatora the Incinerator deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. So you're just like, okay, you sacrifice a creature, which can be an advantage if you built it right. If you've got those death triggers and stuff like that, it'll be an advantage, and you deal damage removing a threat, and you make 3 treasure tokens. This has black and green, both of which are good at like getting things back out of your graveyard, right? Recursion, it can do that pretty easily. So yeah, you're gonna keep like blowing your stuff up, putting it back, activating your death trigger probably, putting it back over and over and over, and you're just gonna outvalue them so easily, and the whole time you're making treasure tokens while doing it too. That's nuts. That's crazy. Anyway, 27 cents? The list. Alright. Dracoset the Maw of Flames is 33 cents. Flame Blast Dragon is 22 cents. Incinerator of the Guilty is only 55 cents. Scourge of Kindred is 118. That's over $1. My only one over $1. Very frustrating. Ziatora the Incinerator, 27 cents. Buy it? Well, it's cheap. Anyway, take it easy.